Yeah, they don't want to move, and I don't want to jerk them. Oh.
What did that?
I don't know, something just got them stirred. I am back with Justin and his family from Homestead Refuge and Homestead Refuge Kids, and we are checking on the splits that we just did in his hives, and also checking on the swarm traps that we're doing our comparison between lemongrass oil and Swarm Commander. So before we get into the hives, Justin, give us an update of what you're seeing in those swarm traps.
Yeah, we just looked at them this morning. I think the one in the southeast corner has the most activity. There's a lot of bees going in and out of it, and that's one with the Swarm Commander. The other three have a few bees, it looks like. Maybe some scout bees, maybe something moving in, but yeah, I think it definitely looks like that northwest and the southeast kind of two corners with the Swarm Commander has a little bit more action. But definitely that southeast corner one has a lot of bees going in it.
Definitely interest in all four of the bait hives that we put up, so that's exciting to see. Now we'll just wait and see which ones they choose to move into for sure. As for the hives, as we looked at them this morning, there is some bearding on each of the hives, particularly in the ends of the hives that did not have the queen, so the ones that should be making a new queen. And we've also noticed that just being around the hives this morning, the bees are kind of defensive. We had a few of them kind of come and try to chase us off this morning. So we're going to get in, see what's going on in there with those hives, and see if they are in the process of making themselves a new queen. As we do that, if you saw the last video, you saw that we did the splits in the hives, and those 20 frame lay-ins hives are good for that, but it's not a permanent solution. As we get into the nectar flow, the bees are going to outgrow that space if we have 2 or 3 hives in that one box. So we'll probably be moving some of those colonies out. I'll put them in my own boxes and take those back home with me. Ready to get into it, Justin?
Yeah, I'm excited. It's interesting to see the bearding on the hives and just kind of learn even more new stuff about the honeybees. So.
All right, let's get into it. So we'll check this one first. This is the side that's bearding. Well, there's a lot of active drones in here too.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So yeah, got some little new comb on that, not a lot. So they're not out of space in there. They've got, space to build. But as we're getting into a nectar flow, we may go ahead and give them a couple more frames.
So how do you like that veil? Is that a better one?
I like this veil a lot, and I'll mention for those watching, you may have noticed in my recent videos I had that veil that had all the fabric on it, and I didn't like that one much. It was a more expensive veil than this one, not a lot, but it seemed harder to see through, and when I would bend over, the fabric would bunch up and kind of close up my vision there.
Yeah.
And so I used to use this kind a lot. I like it. It's lightweight. I think the mesh is actually easier to see through and easy to throw on. It's cheap on Amazon, but the first one I had wore out. The second one, the mesh would get into my face and I couldn't figure out if there's something about the way it was made that it was always up against my face, and that's no good. So that's why I went with a different style, but after trying that one out, I decided to go back to this. So if anyone is looking for a veil like this, you can check out on suburbansodbuster.com. In the shop, there is a link to pick one of these up off of Amazon. And if you go through that link, it'll give me just a little kickback from Amazon, so help out this channel. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate the throw to the veil, the mention of the veil there. Yeah, we've got no shortage of bees in here.
Yeah, that's the most.
So what we're looking for as we get in here is to see if they have queen cells. You see they've got honey on top there, and they're kind of starting to cap over those cells. See how they're kind of filling them with wax on top. Well, we got a lot of drone comb on this side. Same thing over there.
Yeah.
Can you tell through all those bees?
No, it's thick, man.
Yeah, they are packed in there, but yeah, so you can see better on this side.
Oh yeah.
The drone comb on there.
They seem to not like me. There's one that's just like.
Me too.
Yeah, this frame has more capped brood on it. I'm not seeing a queen cell on here. There it is.
Yeah, queen. On the queen cell. Was it right there?
Yep.
Does it have?
Right there.
Does it have a queen inside of it?
Well, let's see. Let me switch hands and look at the end. Yeah, it's capped over. You see how the end is capped? And you see how the bees are covering, you know, kind of protecting that cell too. That's a good sign. So she should be emerging here in about a week or so. And here's a second queen cell.
Can I see?
Yeah, that's a,
Oh yeah.
2 queens?
there.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
I don't know what to exactly.
What we might do is kind of hedge our bets on that. I'll take that colony with the queen with me. We've got a ton of bees in here.
Yeah.
2 frames so far with queen cells. We'll go ahead and make another split.
Okay. So you'll just transfer these frames into that box and then put the empty frames.
Right.
Let these 2 splits have room.
Right. We'll move some of these frames over to that end.
Just to try to avoid a swarm.
Yeah, well, with those 2 queen cells,
Ooh, honey.
one of 2 things is going to happen. Either one of those queens is going to kill the other, and that second one that I pulled is looks like it's a little bit of an older cell. It kind of had kind of a frosty look to it, which can indicate that the cell's, you know, getting closer to coming out. So one way that could play out is that she would come out and she'd start piping, making her little. The other queen would respond while she's still in her cell, hasn't come out yet, and that first queen will go and find her and kill her. So that's one scenario. The other scenario, and they've got a strong population, so this is a possibility too, is that, you know, one of the queens could emerge and just swarm.
Yeah.
And now we got 4 swarm traps up here, so we might catch them anyway, but I think we can be proactive and go ahead and split them.
Yeah, you need to move this into that box and then move some of that.
Yeah,
Split that in half.
I'm just going to move some of this stuff. So we got queen cell here.
Got your pencil?
Got my pencil. Got my secondary pencil. So, okay, so those are our 2 frames with queen cells. And I think everything else we can just kind of checkerboards. We'll kind of take every other frame and move it over there. But first we'll have to move those frames out of the way.
Not gonna slide all 3 of them.
Yeah, they don't want to move, and I don't want to jerk them. Oh.
What did that?
I don't know, something just got them stirred. I'll share just a little bit of what's going on here. The bees are pretty defensive today, which can be typical of a colony that's making a queen. After all, they're protecting the livelihood of their hive. So Justin's other kids came down to see what was going on. The bees suddenly got stirred up and they went after someone who's vulnerable, and that was Justin's daughter, and she got stung a few times. So he's taken her up to the house. From what I saw, she wasn't having immediate reactions, but he's going to give her some Benadryl and see how things go with that. So hopefully everything goes well with that. If there's any issues, that takes precedent over anything we're doing here. But while Justin is up at the house with her, I have moved the colony with the queen out, put them into my swarm trap. How's she doing?
She's okay. You gotta calm down.
Good. Once the bees are queen right and we get into the nectar flow, they'll calm down a lot. Yeah.
Some in here already?
I got the queen right colony in my box.
Okay.
And
so that was the established colony.
That was, yeah. So then I moved the 1 frame with the queen cell over here. So as far as splitting these, I tried to keep it, those 2 frames that were on the end, the one that was just partially built out and that one that was a comb collapse frame, I moved those over first. I put the one with the queen cell next to those, and then one of the frames that had all the drone cells on it. As the colony expands, we'll probably want to move those frames over and put in other frames in between. In fact, I think I'll go ahead and add a starter frame here, because the bees need about 6 or 7 frames for brood. And if we leave that drone frame right there in the middle of the brood, then those drone cells, being as big as they are, they'll just keep raising drones in there. So we'll want to kind of move that out of the brood section gradually and get them started making some, that's warpy, get them started making some worker size cells. Actually, you know, it doesn't hurt anything to keep pushing that drone frame down a little farther and a little farther. Less to have to do later. That end has, well, we'll probably give them one more frame. This end will give them 3 empty frames since they've got the foragers. That end's going to inherit some foragers from that queen-right colony. I'm just going to go ahead and put all these in the side here. So that gives them 3 frames with starter comb. We're bringing them up to 6 frames total. This one will do the same thing, kind of move the drone comb down. Now these bees at this point, all the foragers are over here, and the foragers are typically the more defensive ones. The house bees, the nurse bees, the ones that are taking care of the hive, they are typically less defensive. And so working in this end, you can expect these bees are probably not going to be jumping up, bumping my hands as much, because at this point they're losing the foragers they had, well, except those that are left behind from the other colony. But they should be a pretty gentle colony right now, relatively speaking.
So this is the one that we split into 3.
Split into 3, and I think I actually put notes in here to help us remember.
Yeah, this is when we got the pencil out finally.
So this is our queen-right end. And you know what, before we start opening anything else, maybe we'd be smart to just go ahead and pull them out and put them in a box.
Yeah, you're learning.
I can be taught.
The bees will teach you many things. This is basically another swarm trap?
Yeah, these are my old swarm traps with my single, you know.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
These boxes are built using the swarm trap plans from Dr. Leo's website. And I added on the French cleats, so that's when I started using my hanger systems.
Yeah.
These were built for 6 frames. They barely fill it. I think some of the frames that I made recently are just a tiny bit proud of 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't quite fit 6 of those in there.
Gotcha.
And then if you have some older frames that have propolis on the edge,
definitely can't fit.
then it gets packed anyway. So after I had bees in these once, then 6 frames got really tight.
Yeah.
So then I start using 5 frames plus a spacer.
Gotcha.
You know, and
not as many bees in this.
no, certainly not. Well, now we're getting into some bees. There we got. Now they're storing up pretty good nectar there.
Yeah. Wet.
But dry on that side. And, you know, I look at that, I'm like, oh no, there's not many bees, but I keep forgetting we split this 3 ways.
Yeah.
And we put the queen on this end that had no foragers.
Yeah.
So it's all to be expected. Trying to make sure to put these in the box in the same order.
Yeah.
Put some cat brood on there. I should have done this side for the queen first, because it was away from the light, she's more likely to be on this side. I'm seeing some larvae in those top cells. Looking to see if I see any real small larvae or eggs in there. I see some eggs up in this corner. I don't know if you can see in the bottom of those cells, the little grains of rice.
Oh yeah.
That way, at least if we don't spot the queen while we're moving these, we know she was there within the last 2 days.
Gotcha.
Not many bees, but they had pretty good cat brood on those other frames. And I'm seeing a lot more eggs through here. You see right in the middle of that frame,
yeah.
all the eggs in there.
Yep. But not seeing the queen?
Haven't seen the queen yet. That's the most frustrating to me. I can open up a hive packed with bees and see the queen, and then open up another one with light population like this, and the queen should stand out like a thumb, a sore thumb. Where is she? So we'll look real quick just to make sure she's not on the side. Let's figure out what's going on with this. Is our colony that didn't have a whole lot going on with it.
Can you open it up?
Go ahead. Got to get in there sometime.
Ah. So you're just gonna move this?
Yeah, just use that to pry, pull that back.
Pull it all the way out?
Yeah, just go ahead and set it up against the end over there.
A few more bees in this one, it seems like.
Yeah, well, I wonder if that's because they're closer to where the original colony was, so maybe a few foragers drifted over. We got queen cells. What do you see on this side?
Some drones.
Got some drone cells.
So you saw queen cells, you said?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, right in the middle. There's one going into that. Is that those queen cells too? Is this the queen right here?
No, that's a drone. Yeah, this one doesn't have a queen. So that's a cell that they're still working on. The way they're inside of there and have built it out, I'm guessing they probably have a larvae in there that they're working on. And then these aren't very big. That one's not too bad. That one and that one, that one's okay, I guess. There's like a little cluster of 4 right there.
Might be practice ones or?
Well, those are completed. They're filled in. So they're trying to make a queen with them. That one's probably their best bet. But it's hard to say, you know. From our perspective, it's hard to know which ones are best. It's just, to me, a better looking cell. Okay, go ahead and put that one back in.
I lost track.
Yeah, turn it back this way. Yeah.
Slide it all the way over to this side.
Yeah, you can just set it like right where it's at, right there. So what do we got here?
Those are all drone.
Those are all drones.
Right
there you go.
Yeah. What is that?
That I think is just some bird comb.
But that's definitely a queen.
Yeah, that's a nice looking queen cell on there. Pretty good cat brood on there.
Okay.
So they got several prospects for queen cells on there. Be real careful as you put it in that you're not bumping this edge where that queen cell is. And something that I'll do is kind of turn the frame. There you go. Give you a little more space to work. And then you can kind of turn it back. And then if you lift it up a little bit and slide it down next to the other one, it can kind of force the bees to either go up or down.
I see why you don't work with gloves.
You got one bee right in between there.
Yep. A lot of cat brood.
Really nice looking cat brood on there.
Yeah. These guys are doing good, huh?
Yeah, remarkably well for being our disadvantaged colony.
Yeah. Is it worth trying to separate those two that have queen cells on them?
I'm kind of pondering what to do about those. Like I said, that cluster of queen cells on that one frame looked kind of marginal to me. So part of me says maybe just cut those out and leave them with that one really good looking queen cell.
Is that how they start to make?
Yeah, so that was just wax foundation. And now they're starting to draw the cells out on it. Haven't really started building it down yet.
So why do they all hang from each other like that?
That's called festooning. And I don't know if I've ever seen anyone that has totally scientifically explained it, but the general consensus is that it's kind of like using a plumb bob.
Oh,
they can establish a vertical by hanging down.
Wow.
So it's kind of like their little
interesting,
methods of engineering.
Okay.
I'm not sure what I want to do with that end yet.
You got enough extra frames to do more splitting and stuff, or?
Let's see what we've got going on in this end. They only have 5 frames here, so we probably won't be able to pull a whole lot to do another split, although I've done 2 frame splits before and that's worked.
Really?
So, yeah.
Just get them started and come back in a couple weeks and add to it?
Yeah. So what we might do is we might go ahead and try to split that guy, but let's see what we've got in this. If they've got more queen cells in here, we may opt
the best
to pull. So go ahead and pull out your divider board, but let's just move that colony all the way to the end.
Okay.
And I think based on what we see in here, we could either split those or, like I said, cut out some of those queen cells just to minimize the chance that they start casting swarms. Although around here, you know, it's not such a bad thing if they swarm.
When you're in a crowded subdivision.
At my place, you know, try to do what I can to control that as much as possible. Now, I will say with the divider board, it often, you're doing all right, but it often works best to try to slide it in, keep it straight as you slide it in.
Okay.
Because in this case, when you turn it, you could smash bees.
Yeah. Ooh, lots of bees.
Look at that.
Yeah. Oh.
What's interesting about that, so bees are pretty hardy. So getting dropped like that typically doesn't hurt them much.
Yeah.
And
A lot of new comb.
a lot of, yeah, definitely. It's hard to tell, there's so many bees on it. A lot of people are like, well, you're just gonna make the bees angry when you shake them off. But apparently what happens inside their little bee brains is it's kind of like a reset. Like when they drop like that, it's like, whoop, something just happened. Oh, back to business. And that's pretty true. I don't think I've ever seen, you know,
It doesn't make them mad.
done a lot of stuff where I've shaken bees and I've never seen them really get too agitated by that. And that's all new comb on this frame.
Yeah.
Pretty nice looking honey frame right there.
Yeah, those were the extra ones that we added in last time.
Yeah, so that kind of shows, so it's been 9 days.
Yeah.
And it shows how much of a flow we're coming into now.
Yeah.
So there we got
Lots.
cap brood on there. Now there's so many bees. I can't see if there's a cell on there or not. Oh, yep, you got it. Two of them. Is there queens in there?
Still a lot of bees, even if you shake them off. Thick.
Oh, there's another one at the bottom. Well, that one's, they're still working on that one.
Oh yeah, 2. 1, 2.
Oh, wow. Is that second one capped?
It is.
Looks like it's capped the way they're
Yeah,
crawling
it's
over
capped.
the end.
Yep.
So 4 queen cells just on that frame.
Yeah. You want to mark that or?
Yeah. And those are nice looking queen cells too. That's I wish I brought more boxes. And again, I hardly
Lots
see
of
anything.
bees. Oh, a lot
Oh,
of drones.
queen cell right in the middle on the top
Yep.
there. Another one on the side there.
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah. That looks kind of stubby to me. Yeah, they've got 2 kind of close together there. Wow.
Getting ready to get crazy, huh?
So, if we count there, 1, 2. Yeah, we'll say 3, 4, 5.
Wow.
So what I'm thinking I'll probably do here, now that we're looking at it, we'll see what this other frame has.
Nice.
The end frame, man, I don't remember what we left them with on the end frame. In a typical hive, this is mostly going to be resources, but that's not to say that's what when we split it, that's what we did.
Captain
They've got cat brood, yeah,
and drones. looks
save
like.
some time.
Yeah.
Oh, shook out.
Is that one
Another
emerging?
queen. No, that one probably when I pulled it off the wall, it was probably stuck to the wall. I'm not going to shed any tears over that
There's
one.
enough queens.
Yeah.
Was that the one you saw from the other side? Is that
No, I didn't see that one before. But yeah, so
that 1,
2.
2, and then that third one that was
Yeah.
busted open? So they are being heavy.
Yeah. All right, so getting into this hive, we've kind of gone through some gyrations here, working out what we're going to do with this. We had originally split this into 3 colonies. We had our Queenright colony that we moved to the opposite end, and they were doing all right. I moved them out and put them into a box to take home. Our other part of the split is on the opposite end, which is where the foragers were oriented to, so that end would inherit the foragers. And we had enough potential frames in this hive to make queens that we went ahead and made a 3rd split. So we had bees in the middle, and at that time I remarked that I didn't have a great hope for them because they didn't have the queen, they didn't have the foragers, just hoping that they could make something out of it. Well, boy did they. So we've come back, we pulled out that queen-right colony, went through the frames in the others and found multiple queen cells and a lot of bees. And enough that we feel pretty confident we have made more splits. So we've taken those bees. I didn't take the queen, right? Did we have a... No, I did. I took 2 boxes out of here.
You did, you're right.
I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
So I took the queen-right colony. I also took another colony that had queen cells.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what was left, we were able to make more splits out of. So now we've got 3 frames in each section of this hive. Each one of these sections has queen cells and a lot of bees left. So hopefully they'll be able to make a queen and we'll get some more colonies out of this. So it's interesting what you can find when you go in. I did bring my pencil, I did make some notes and still lost track of what we were doing.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm really positive about what's happening here with this hive. We're coming into a nectar flow. I think the bees are going to come out strong. It's been interesting hive inspections today. I was thinking we would just come out, look in the hives, make sure they had queen cells, and be done with it. But instead, we see how productive these colonies are being. We were able to make some additional splits. I'm taking a few colonies home for me and leaving several more here. So it's been really interesting. Now we'll give these colonies a couple weeks to finish raising their queens, let those queens emerge, let them get mated, and we'll come back and check to make sure that we have good laying queens. At the same time, we're going to be watching those swarm traps, and hopefully Justin will be catching a swarm in 1 or more of those traps soon. And of course, we're going to let you know whether the bees seem to prefer the lemongrass oil or the swarm commander. Until we get to that inspection and that video, check out this video that Google thinks you're going to like. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time.